Hello and welcome. So, in the world of digital forensics, investigators are facing an absolutely massive problem. They're not drowning in water, they're drowning in a tidal wave of data. And somewhere, hidden in that flood of information, could be the one clue they need to solve the next big case.
So let me just ask you this. What if the one piece of evidence that could crack a case, a deleted file, a hidden network log, is just buried under terabytes of other junk? What if our very best tools just can't dig through it all in time? Well, that's the digital detective's dilemma right there. At the very heart of this problem is something experts are calling digital evidence overload. I mean, the sheer volume of data we all create every single day is just staggering. And when a crime happens, every single one of those bytes becomes a potential clue.
Just think about it for a second. A modern investigation isn't just about fingerprints and fibers anymore, not by a long shot. It's about pulling data from massive hard drives, sifting through super volatile computer memory, analyzing all the network traffic, and trying to piece together system logs. It's like a giant digital puzzle, and the pieces are getting smaller and way more numerous every single day. So how in the world do investigators even begin to handle this flood? Well, for years, they've been relying on some really powerful industry-standard tools. But even these trusty old tools are starting to crack under the pressure of all this big data. So tools like FTK Imager and Encase, they're incredible pieces of software, don't get me wrong. You can think of them as a digital magnifying glass. They let an analyst look at a hard drive with just incredible precision. But a magnifying glass is only useful if you kind of know where to look. And it's very slow if you have to examine an entire football field with it, one blade of grass at a time. And here's where those cracks really start to show. Traditional tools, they just bog down on large data sets. They often focus only on the hard disk, totally ignoring live memory or network data where the really juicy evidence might be hiding. The chain of custody, and that's the crucial log that proves who handled the evidence, is often a manual process, which is just asking for errors. And critically, they don't have any AI to find hidden patterns or recover clues from damaged files. That means some cases might just go unsolved simply because the tools aren't smart enough. But what if there was a better way, a different approach? Well, coming out of academic research, there's a new tool designed to solve these exact problems, and it's called Forens Ai. So, Forens Ai is built from the ground up for today's massive data landscape. It uses something called parallelism, which is just a fancy way of saying it does many things at once, to dramatically speed up the whole process. It also brings in AI to not just find data, but to actually help understand it. And because it's open source, it's accessible to pretty much everyone. The workflow here is just brilliantly logical. First, it grabs all types of data at the exact same time, not just the disk. Second, it automatically logs every single action, creating a perfect, unforgeable chain of custody. That's huge. Third, it uses AI to flag suspicious activity that a human might totally miss. And finally, it can actually reconstruct evidence from broken or damaged files, something traditional tools just can't do. Okay, so we have the established champion and the new challenger. How do they actually stack up against each other? Let's put them head to head and see what happens. I absolutely love this quote because it gets right to the heart of the matter. It's not just about seeing a wall of raw data. It's about getting insights, about understanding what that data actually means. That right there is the fundamental difference in philosophy. And you can really see that difference in philosophy right here. The traditional method is like taking a slow, winding country road, focused on one thing at a time with a human doing all the heavy lifting. The forensic AI method is more like a multi-lane superhighway, analyzing everything at once with an AI co-pilot helping you navigate. Okay, let's really break this down. For data acquisition, forensic AI is built for those massive files where other tools just crawl to a halt. It looks at everything: disk, memory, logs, network, not just the disk. The chain of custody, well, that goes from being manual and risky to automated and totally secure. But the real game changers are the AI features and this amazing thing called data carving, which is the ability to recover partial or damaged data, essentially rebuilding clues from digital scraps. This allows for way faster and deeper insights that just weren't possible before. So what does all of this mean for the future? I mean, it's not just about one shiny new tool. This really represents a fundamental shift in how digital investigations could be done from now on. The promise here is just enormous. We're talking about investigations that took weeks, maybe taking just days. Clues that were completely invisible before could be brought to light by AI. The integrity of evidence becomes rock solid thanks to all that automation. And by getting rid of those high-cost licenses, these advanced capabilities could be in the hands of way more agencies, really leveling the playing field for justice. And you know what? That is the perfect way to wrap this all up. The goal is no longer just to collect digital evidence, but to intelligently understand it. The question isn't just, can we find the data anymore? The real question is, can we understand the story it tells? That's the future this new approach is aiming for. Thanks so much for joining us.